by 3. So the 2 by 2 determinants within the 3 by 3 are called minors. We call them minors. So a minor is found by choosing an element. Okay, now an element or entry is just a number in the matrix, right? So we find a minor by choosing an element or an entry and crossing off the row and the column that contain that entry, or whatever entry we choose. So, for example, if I choose entry A11 right here, I'm going to cross off the row and the column that have to do with A11. And you'll see what remains. It's a 2 by 2. So that is a minor. Okay, so that 2 by 2 is considered a minor. You with me on that so far? Yes. Okay. All right, so kind of drop down here a little bit, and we're just going to talk about entries and how we name them, because this is probably new for you. I don't know if it is. But A11, what does it mean? A11 means row 1, column 1. Okay, so 11, the first number is the row, the second number is the column. So if it's A12, it's row 1, column 2. Yes? Okay, so A22 would be row 2, column 2. You tracking with me?
Yes.
Okay. So just so you know, that's how we name those. Okay, you'll probably see that in the future. All right, I'm going to show you a pattern. This is how we find the determinant by hand. We're going to do a couple of these columns, and then we'll implement our calculator. Okay? So take a look at my 3 by 3. It doesn't have any numbers in it. I'm just working with my A11s and all that. But if I go ahead and I do this based on column 1, I'm going to cross out A11. So the way that I would find my determinant is I would write whatever number A11 is, so say it's 2. Okay, for right now we're just using A11. You write it here. And then this 2 by 2 that's left over, it goes right beside it. Okay? And then over here, since we're doing this column, we do the A21. So A21 would cross out that row and column. Okay, and we're left with these two. We stack them together and they create the minor over here. Okay, and then right here, you'll notice I obviously put my A21 there, but why is it negative? Well, there's this pattern that we have to use, okay, and it's plus, minus, plus. Okay, that's a pattern that we kind of implement in addition to the work that we're doing, and I'll touch more on that in a second. Okay, but that's why that negative is there. And then obviously, if I'm doing A31, I would cross out the row in the column that have A31, and I'm left with this minor, okay, which is right here. So that's what all of that means right there. Okay, we're going to do this with numbers, and it gets better. It's not as bad when we have numbers. So let's do this example. Okay. This is evaluate the determinant, meaning find the determinant. Expand down the first column. Show me with your arm what a column looks like. Yes, so we know it's going to be the first column. So here are our numbers. Okay, so bear with me. What's your question? Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to go ahead and put in that plus minus plus that I was talking about. Okay, so we're going to put a plus here, minus here, plus here. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay? But just bear with me on the plus minus plus. Okay, we're going to do exactly what just happened with the minors and all that. So I'm going to cross out my first column and my first row. What number is at A11? -2. We track it? Okay, so I'm going to put -2 out here. Okay, now keep in mind, it was an addition of -2, but I don't really need to put the plus there, right? Because plus and negative is just negative. Now, your 2x2s. You know how to do those. So right here is our 2x2. We're going to do our cross and subtraction. So 1 times 5 is 5. Minus -4 times -1 is positive. So that step right there is what you've done the last 2 days. Do I need to explain that again? Are we doing okay? I know it's a lot, so that's why I'm trying to make sure you're okay. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with this one, and we're moving down that column. So now I'm going to do the 3. So we'll have -3 because we have this subtraction symbol going on. So -3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this 2x2 up here because I know it's kind of hard to see when you cross out that middle row. So 0 times 5 is 0. Minus 5 times -1 is -5. Those should become plus. 2 negatives make a positive. Okay, now we're doing the last entry in that first column, which was, what was that number? Was it a 2? Okay. So plus 2, and then here's your 2x2. So it should be 0 minus 5. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and simplify everything. 2 times 1 minus 3 times 5 plus 2 times -5. You could put this in your calculator if you wanted to.
Are these all going like together?
Yep. It's basically just one big problem once you get it together. All I did there was just simplify. And just combining. That's all I did. Okay. So we got down to a number. Well, you know from the last 2 days, a determinant is just one number. Okay. So in this case, -27 is our determinant. That's D, or DET, if you want to write it that way. Okay, how many variables are in a 2x2 system?
Oh.
2 by 2. X and Y. So it's 2 variables, right? How many variables in a 3x3? 3, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so what I want you to think about is doing this process 3 more times by hand. So you would have to do it with D, which is what we just did, dx, dy, and dz. And then you would have to divide everything to find what x, y, and z are, okay? That's where I'm going to implement a calculator. Okay, so I just wanted you to see the process and know what's actually occurring, and then we're just going to rely on our technology. Okay, we're going to do one more of these practices, and then we'll do the calculator. Okay, remember the plus minus plus? Here is the key that you need for each row and column. So if I told you that you need to find the determinant based on column 2, the pattern would be minus plus minus. Yes? So you're going to have to kind of refer to that when you are doing these based on what you're asked. Okay? Technically, we will do column 1 and it's plus minus plus. We're used to that. Sometimes it'll be asked to do different. So if you look at the next one, okay, this asks you to do the second row. The second row. So right here, here's the second row. So that's our pattern. Negative, positive, negative. Are you tracking? No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So let's go ahead and put those in front. If you put them in front, it helps you not forget that you need to use them. Okay, so if we're doing the second row, would you agree that that's 600 right there? Okay, so we're going to start here at the first entry, so cross off the 6. Okay, and if we're crossing it off, we know that we're going to use it. Now, that negative goes to the front. Don't forget your negative. Okay, if you need to rewrite this one, I can rewrite this one for you. It's easier to see. That minor, if you rewrite it. So we should have 8 plus 6 on the inside for that one. Okay, here now we're at the second entry. So to cross off the row and column to go to that second entry. Okay, and it was a 0. Okay, so I rewrote that one there above it, so if you need that, makes it a little bit easier. And then same thing here. Last entry is that 0, so we cross off the row and the column. Okay, and then you just simplify from here. You should end up with D equals negative 84, I believe. Because those other two are zeros. 6 and 14 should be 84. Okay, are you tracking with me? You're okay? I know it's a lot. It's weird. It's a lot. It's just very tedious. Okay, but that's the worst it gets. Actually, it's not, but we're not going to do the worst. Medium worst. Okay. So, yeah, just imagine doing that process for dx, dy, and dz every single time. It would be a lot. Okay. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the calculator portion now. But let's just get the written part done, and then we'll jump into the calculators, okay? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to write the augmented matrix. I gave you the system. Go ahead and write the matrix right next to it. Okay, and this step is honestly probably one of the most important. If you don't get things copied the correct way, like with the correct numbers and correct signs, you won't get the right answer. Okay, so make sure that you double check your writing steps because it's easy to miss a negative. Okay. All right, 1, 3, it looks like I think I'm good. Okay, once you have that, now we're going to write our determinants. Okay, this is really the biggest writing part because once you have those, we can just plug them all in the calculator. Okay, so for our determinant of D, actually look at that below it, if we get some more space. Okay, so for D, we just remove the fourth column and we just do this part right here. It's the coefficient matrix. Okay. We okay on that? Just removing that fourth column. Okay. If you think about our columns, we have column X, column Y, and column Z. Okay? And I think it helps to label this when you're learning, just so you know. Okay? Column X is 2, 4, 6. If you remember back to when we did our 2 by 2, do you remember replacing column X and replacing column Y? That's exactly what we're going to do right now. So for determinant X, or dx, okay, we're going to remove X column and keep our Y and our Z columns. So go ahead and skip the X column, and you're going to remove, okay, skip X, right, and you're keeping Y and Z. So my Y and Z should stay exactly the same as they are in the matrix.
Should we leave like a space?
Yeah, just leave the space open for X, yeah. Same thing for Y. Which column do you think we're going to leave open? Column Y. Okay, and then for Z, for DC, you're going to leave column C open. Oops, what am I doing? Just as we go. Okay. Good deal. What do you think we're going to replace those columns with? The last one, 7, negative 1, 0. So those open columns is where you put in the 7, negative 1, 0. Now you have all four. I shouldn't say matrices, but determinate setups. And now we would do this process on each one. But we'll just get your calculator. So get your calculator out. Okay, and I know that I've already showed you these, but I'm going to go over it again just in case. If you're a TI Inspire friend, my software is still not updated. So I will walk around and help you if you need help, but I'll kind of also talk you through it as I do the 83. Okay. So if you remember right, what do we press if we want to enter a matrix? Remember? Yep, second X1. Second X1. This is 83, 84. And then we go over to edit. Okay, choose that first matrix. Change it to a 3 by 3. Now you can put your entries in. We're doing D. Okay, we're just doing D. Not DX, you want to do Z yet, just D. So you're going to enter this one into your 3 by 3. TI Inspires, I see a couple. So for TI Inspires, you're going to press the button that is right next to the book and number 9. It's in between the book and number 9. And there will be a button that looks kind of like this. It's a matrix and it has 9 slots in it, so it's a 3 by 3. Okay, you'll press that, and it'll automatically put it into your calculator and you can put in the numbers. Okay, I'm going to walk around and help you out if you need help. You getting it? Yep, okay, good. Yeah, just Any other Inspire friends that need help? Okay, for the Inspire, to get the determinant, just make sure you type DET parenthesis in front of your matrix. And is there anybody else with an Inspire? Okay, so if you're on 83, 84, let me enter my numbers very quickly here.
No.
Alright, I'm going to tell you right now, this step is where most of my students say, something went wrong, because they didn't check the numbers. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I always double check what I type in. Okay, does it match up with what I have on my paper? And it looks like it does. Okay, so from here, second quit, okay, or second mode, it should take me back to your calculator screen. Then we do our same buttons. Second, X1, math, choose number 1, DET. Press enter. One more time, second, X1, press enter if you're using matrix A. If you're using a different matrix, you got to go to scroll down and choose that one. Okay, and then press enter again. And it should show up for you. Anybody not getting 54? Did you already get the determinant part? Oh, no, you didn't. We can rent one from the LRC. That's fine. It should work. It should be the same. If you're good, friends, if you're good at doing this, go ahead and do DX, DY, DZ. Okay?
Now we're
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to be at the same time. Explain something.
Yeah.
No.
That explains everything.
Yeah, well, I thought about it, but there's a trash can. I think it's a big campus conversation.
Put a trash?
Here's the thing, when you have outdoor lawn students, you have no idea how much your classroom. Like, if you guys, I don't trust that you would show your students. They would definitely not. Okay, take an orange pasta piece of it. Right? They'll be like, yeah, go get yours. All right, how we doing?
Right.
We doing okay? Okay, so DX, DY, and DZ, same process. Okay, you're just going to have different numbers in that matrix. All right, what are we getting for DX? 27? What about DY? 162. Did you get 0 for Z?
Yeah. I don't see her really like do
Okay, I'm gonna give you just another minute or so to make sure that you have DX, DY, DZ figured out. Okay, and I kind of skipped this part. This is where we would do like the written work for it. So you can just put them here. That one was 27. Okay, DY was 162. Okay, so you can just fill those in. That's where we can do the written work. We're not going to do all of that. We don't have to worry on it. If you want, you can either rent an Inspire or an 8384. Both of them are free to me.
That's all they're making is this. Sadly, are not.
Like,
Google would be is a teacher for
You know, from science.
It's good.
Cramers Notes.
All right, so for X, Y, and Z, this is where we do the division. So we did this for a 2 by 2. What did we get for DX? 27? Okay, so you do 27 divided by 54, because 54 was D, and that would be 1/2. So that means your X value is 1/2. Okay, DY was 162, okay, divided by 54 is 3. 0 divided by 54 is 0. Okay, so remember, our whole point of doing this process is to find where all 3 lines would intersect. So we want a coordinate point. Okay, so your final answer would be 1/2, 3. Okay, I'm just going to have you do one practice problem. Okay, it didn't copy on the back. So go ahead and flip to the back, and I'm just going to put it up here in the board. Okay, I just want you to do one practice. That's all I need. Let me pull it up here. You guys feel okay with this? I know it's a lot. Like, I know it can be kind of a lot.
room, because she's gonna put them up on the floor.
All right.
Right,
Yes, you can.
A highlighter. A highlighter.
Okay, there you go. Okay, write it in a matrix first. You're doing the same steps we did on the previous page. So if you need to look back at that, that's okay.
like, all of a sudden, it's just like, it's just like, absolutely in no way confused.
No, we're students.
Well, no, but what if you're doing an assessment and you both take one? Oh, you just So you guys Oh, okay.
Oh, this is where it's.
All right, we're doing this. We're only doing one practice problem today. So if you just look to the back of your page, the same thing we just did. So right the matrix, and then you see the exercise. Okay, so is it a copy? Flip it over. You guys want me to go back? This is the practice I teach. What you do is like once you get those, let me just revise them on the next year. I use all of you guys if you want this all to come out.
Do we still have to do the plus minus plus?
No, so that is if we were doing it by hand, but you don't, since you're not doing it by hand, you don't have to work on it.
Is that like? That's what I was thinking.
You may. It's a TI inspired and they changed the keyboard on it to make it an 83 uniform. That's why it's kind of strange.
What does this thing do?
I think that might pop out of the video. Maybe the bottom.
I'm not gonna.
Or maybe it's for the bad. This was their statement, right?
Yeah, it does.
There's none that I think was so no, that okay, I keep getting 0. I can do everything in complete.
Am I doing this wrong?
Yeah. Installs through.
Got it.
Oh, I saw them doing that when I first had it for it.
Yeah.
Got
I know the wrong, I know. I just saw it.
All right.
Yeah.